What is up, weather enthusiasts? I'm your host, Pat's Path Predictor. Let's get right into the weather. Alright, so here's the situation we have for you, ladies and gentlemen. We have a lot of stuff to really talk about today. We have some winter storms that are continuing to impact a lot of New England. We have a winter storm impacting New York this weekend. We actually have some news from ESPN, as a matter of fact. The first postseason game for the Buffalo Bills and Pittsburgh Steelers has been pushed till Monday due to the snowstorm. As of right here, it'll be rescheduled for Monday at 4:30 p.m. So if you're tuning in for the Steelers Bills game, that's going to be delayed about a day or so. So yeah, I thought I'd let you know about that real quickly before we get into the rest of the weather. However, the other two stuff that things I'm paying attention to are these. The first thing I'm paying attention to is a massive Arctic blast that is going to be impacting, as I talked about yesterday, about 100 plus million people through the United States and Canada. The second thing I want to talk about is a potentially rare and big snowstorm for a lot of areas in the Deep South, including Arkansas, Mississippi, even into Alabama and mainly all of Tennessee at this point, even though it's not considered the Deep South. It is still the South, but anyway. Yeah, and then potentially we're looking at some models that have this thing moving through the mid-Atlantic and bringing areas like D.C., Baltimore, Philadelphia, New York City, and Boston some potentially big snow. We're not sure on that part of the storm just yet, so we'll keep you updated, but we do have this aspect that we're looking at right here. So in the meantime, we're going to go ahead and jump right into this. First thing I want to jump right into is the Arctic cold that we're looking at right here. The Arctic cold, as we can see right here, this is the GDPS that we have right here. It's expected the Arctic blast is already impacting lots of areas in the Great Plains and the Rocky Mountains, and it is expected to spread through pretty much anywhere from the Midwest to the Deep South and into New England right here. So let's go ahead and show you what we're looking at. By tomorrow morning, in a lot of areas in Texas, here's what we're looking at. In Amarillo, we're at 0 or -1 degrees Fahrenheit. In Dallas, Fort Worth, we're at about 12, 13 degrees Fahrenheit as a low temperature, and across much of the Deep South and Mid-Atlantic, they're just getting into the cusp of it right here with temperatures. Pretty much the freezing line is going all the way to the Florida Panhandle, and just going further to the north. Down in Houston over here, we're down to 43 degrees, and the Arctic blast is already penetrating through much of the Midwest, the Chicago area in particular. We're looking at areas of anywhere from -6 to -10 tomorrow morning. So yeah, these temperatures are going to keep plummeting as this polar vortex continues to move through, and then it gets even stronger as we continue to look through all this. And by the time we get to the 16th of January, we have we're looking at a massive push if the GEM GDPS is the correct model, of single-digit temperatures all the way down to near Austin, Texas. I'm not sure if that's going to be a bit realistic or not if we go ahead and show you the GFS. It's considerably warmer than that, 72 hours out, but still not really that much of an improvement. We're down to like 20 degrees Fahrenheit in a lot of these areas. And either way, you're still getting impacted by this massive Arctic invasion that we have right here. And it's expected to get colder by the time we get to the 17th. It kind of just encompasses the vast majority of the eastern half of the United States, pretty much from Washington all the way down to Florida, all the way over to Maine. So yeah, this is a pretty big situation that we are looking at over here, and we will keep you updated here on the Pat's Path Predictor channel. And we also have some other stuff that we're taking a look at. We have wind chill warnings and wind chill advisories from Washington all the way to Ohio right now. We're going to go ahead and go to the wind chill warnings and kind of go over a few of these. We're going to go ahead and start with one in Kansas over here to kind of get a grasp at what we're potentially looking at when it comes to all this as this continues to go up. Dangerous wind chills of 20 to 30 below zero for Kansas. That's pretty interesting to take a look at. The wind chill warning is now in effect from 6 p.m. this evening until noon Tuesday. So it's going to be a 3-day event for a lot of these areas. If we go ahead and go further north to South Dakota, around the Rapid City area, if we go ahead and show you that, the wind chill warning is in effect pretty much with wind chills as low as 50 below zero, which if you're tuning in from South Dakota, Montana, you guys have not gotten this in a long time, but we have wind chill warnings as far east as Missouri and Illinois. If we go ahead and show you in St. Louis, what we are looking at right here with the wind chill warning. It's going to get very, very cold. The wind chill warning remains in effect from 6 p.m. this evening until noon Sunday, and the wind chill advisory will be in effect from noon Sunday until noon Tuesday. For the wind chill warning, wind chills as low as 30 below zero, wind chill advisory low as 20 below zero, so we're going to have to continue to keep an eye on it. But another thing that I'm keeping an eye on now as well is that potential winter storm that we're looking at down in the deep south. We already have winter storm warnings in effect for pretty much of Arkansas, parts of Oklahoma, Louisiana, and even into Mississippi as well, near Jackson, Mississippi. That was what we're looking at over here. Here's what we have right here for the NWS in Jackson right here. So let's go ahead and show you the winter storm warning that's in effect right here. What are we looking at? Heavy mixed precipitation expected, total snow accumulations up to 4 inches, and ice accumulations up to 1/10 of an inch possible. Now, before we continue on, if you're tuning in, you're watching my coverage from the last couple of weeks actually, you're probably saying, why is there a winter storm warning here, Patrick? There's only 4 inches of snow expected, and ice accumulations up to 1/10 of an inch. Isn't that supposed to be a winter weather advisory? Not in the deep south. Every single weather service, every single weather forecast office has their separate criteria. I think in Mississippi in particular, it's 2 or 4 inches, 2, 3 or 4 inches. I'm not 100% sure on that, but it's somewhere in that range over there. So there's that. We have the winter storm warnings in effect. We also have a lot of winter storm watches. We have a winter storm watch in effect throughout the entire state of Tennessee over here. Let's go ahead and take a look at what we're looking at with the winter storm watch. Snow accumulations of 3 to 5 inches possible. That is very likely going to go into become a warning in the next day or so, and even into the Appalachian areas. Over here, the chances of getting at least 2 inches of snow, 83% in Knoxville and all these areas over here. Let's go ahead and take a look at this right here. The winter storm watch will be in effect from Monday at 7 a.m. until Tuesday afternoon. 3 to 5 inches of snow possible for Tennessee and Southwest Virginia. Although I have seen models that have the snowfall even higher, and this is either way going to be a very powerful and potentially historic storm over down in the deep south, because they don't get stuff like this typically. There's even winter storm watches as into Alabama as well for the Huntsville area, and I want to go ahead and take a look at these to kind of see what we're potentially working at with the areas. Heavy mixed precipitation, 1 to 3 inches of snow, and a light glaze. So yeah, they're going to have to put that winter storm watch out over there. Now we're going to go ahead and show you some models that we're looking at over here. We're going to go ahead and start with the GEM GDPS to get some timing on this over here. This is going to be taking into effect for the next couple of days, as a matter of fact. We have this thing really starting to ramp up over Kansas and Oklahoma, and then push through the deep south, starting in Arkansas and Mississippi into Alabama, and even parts of Missouri, Kentucky. Pretty much throughout all of Tennessee is going to get snow from this, which is pretty ridiculous if you think about this, because the areas, especially not in the western part of Tennessee, don't get snow that often. It's even more surprising that parts of Mississippi are potentially getting anywhere from snow to mixed precipitation from this, because they don't typically get this. I don't remember the last time they got precipitation like this. I don't remember the last time they got snow, but it definitely wasn't the last 2 years. I was covering this stuff on Pat's Path Predictor. That's a fact. But this stuff starts to move. Through, and then kind of merges with another system along the way. And then this is where the Mid-Atlantic stuff starts to kick in. As after we're done with that, it starts to bring some significant, not exactly that significant amount of snow, but some models do have it at that. It brings snow to D.C., Baltimore, Philadelphia, New York City, and brings really heavy snow potentially to Boston and much of New England over here before it moves out on Wednesday over here. What are we looking at for snow accumulations? We'll start with the deep south over here, since that's kind of our big threat right here. The GEM GDPS wants some areas in Arkansas and Mississippi to get up to 10 inches of snow, which I will say this right here. If that is the case, that'll be some of the biggest snow totals those regions have gotten in a very, very long time. I'm not 100% sure how realistic this is or how much it's taking into account mixed precipitation, so we're going to hold our horses off that. But once again, we're looking at anywhere from like 3 to 8 inches of snow across much of Tennessee, even into Alabama. In Huntsville in particular, we're looking at potentially 5 inches of snow from the GEM GDPS. Mid-Atlantic is a bit different over here, anywhere from 3 to 6 inches over here, according to the GEM GDPS. The GFS model, this is the 12Z GFS, we're kind of seeing models going off and on with this Mid-Atlantic system over here. If we go ahead and show you the 0Z GFS and then the 6Z GFS over here, we see something happening potentially starting into next weekend over here. However, I'm mainly focusing on the stuff going on in the deep south over here, and we'll pay attention to that over here. Snow accumulations anywhere from 3 to 8 inches across a lot of the area right here, which for the south in particular is a lot of snow. I cannot have it understated how much snow this is for that region of the United States. It's not very common to get more than 2 to 3 inches of snow in that region, let alone 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 inches of snow. So I just want to emphasize that very quickly. People don't know how to drive in this stuff down there. They've never really experienced it a lot. So yeah, if you're tuning in from those areas, you got to pay attention to that. Last model we're showing you is the European over here. The European is also bringing some pretty big snow, potentially up to 10 inches of snow for parts of Arkansas and Mississippi over here. If we go ahead and zoom in on it a little bit, we can get a better grasp of it. Yeah, anywhere from 8 to 10 inches in parts of Arkansas and Mississippi. Even into Huntsville, we're looking at 6 inches of snow over here. So this is definitely something that we have to pay attention to, and if you're tuning in from these regions, we will keep you updated on the Pat's Path Predictor channel. But before I go, there is one last thing I really want to do. I want to give a shout out to my good friend Melissa Ring. She gave me a shout out on Instagram. She was kind of talking about her top 10 favorite YouTubers, and I was on that list, so I'm gonna shout her out. I think she's doing a really good job with her Instagram. It's more writing stuff and everything like that, but I find it really interesting and really kind of fun, honestly. So I will leave a link to her Instagram in the description down below. Please be sure to go ahead and follow it, and yeah, just give her some love. And Melissa, I really appreciate you mentioning me in that Instagram post. Thank you very much. But with that being said, we're going to go ahead and close the video out right here. I really hope you enjoyed it. Be sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you are new. It helps us out, helps us make more videos like these. The goal of this channel is to get more people engaged with weather, and if you want to see the behind the scenes of these videos and you want to ask us some questions about these potential storms and this potential Arctic blast that's coming, be sure to join the Storms United Discord server. The link to it is right over there. But with that being said, have a wonderful day, guys. Stay safe.